No, it's a wonderful place and a beautiful part of the state. But you know, we're here for a real serious topic today, and that is the safety and security of our communities. We all know that the California legislature passed a law that basically makes this state a sanctuary state. And in their definition, that means that law enforcement can't work together with federal authorities. That's not what we hire our public officials to do. We hire our public officials to work together and provide for the safety and security of our families. That is, in essence, that is the number one job of any public official.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And you know, we've seen this. We all know about the tragic murder of Kate Steinle in San Francisco. I could stand up here and recite time after time criminal, illegal aliens who have been let go or have been allowed to live and free of law enforcement activity and have committed crimes. That's not every illegal alien, but that's enough that it's a danger to our community, and it must be dealt with, and it must be dealt with now.
Yes.
Instead, we have liberal politicians like Jerry Brown and Gavin Newsom who passed the security sanctuary state law, and I'm here to tell you that my campaign is going to be about values, and I'm here to tell you that Gavin Newsom's and Jerry Brown's values are not my values. But there's good news. There's good news because there's a movement brewing around this state. And I'm starting this in the North counties here, you know, in Butte and all the Shasta and all the counties up here who have spoken, Tehama, that have spoken up months ago about this sanctuary state and have led the effort. I am now involved in leading the charge on this as well. I am proud of what Orange County recently did. I'm even prouder to say that the San Diego County Board is going to consider joining the lawsuit with Attorney General Sessions, and they're going to consider that just next week at a board meeting.
All right.
And we have cities like Los Alamitos, which is stepped forward, and Escondido, which is only a few miles from my home, has stepped forward. Mayor Sam Abed, an immigrant himself, a legal immigrant, and we value legal immigrants. Absolutely. But we also want to make sure that our communities are safe and secure. And so the essential message that we are here today to deliver to our elected officials is that we want federal law upheld. As we speak here today, there's a caravan of 1,000 people that are coming up from horribly managed countries in Central America. I feel sorry for the people that live in those countries. But we have to make sure that this country is kept safe and secure and prosperous. It does them no favor to have our state and our country descend into lawlessness and insecurity. We need to make sure that America and the state of California are that shining city on a hill that Ronald Reagan talked about, safe and secure and prosperous, so that we can help the rest of the world as well as ourselves. What I want to do now is, and it's my privilege to introduce Congressman Doug LaMalfa, a rice farmer, a hard-working man who has chosen a life of public service to fight for us in Washington. He represents not only the North counties, but he also represents our values. And he's been a leader in the effort to protect and defend the rule of law. Congressman LaMalfa, thank you.
Well, good morning. I'm really excited to have John Cox up here joining us here in Butte County in the North State, paying attention to the North State. It sure takes some effort sometimes to get the attention of Sacramento. Also, my colleague and my partner in fighting crime, Jim Nielsen here as well, a longtime leader on that too. You know, we need a change of direction in California. We saw that change in 2016 when the change of direction happened in Washington, D.C., the voters stepping forward and saying no more to illegal immigration, no more to sanctuary cities, no more to the sieve of a border we have, which endangers our security, endangers all of our values in this country. We do value legal immigration. We do value people want to come here and seek permission. You locked the door on your front door at your house when you came here probably. You locked your car probably. We also have an obligation to keep the door locked on the country, but with a gate, with well-oiled hinges, so we can allow people in on our terms. So our North State counties have already made a statement on this, as John Cox mentioned, Siskiyou, Shasta, Tehama, and others. So we welcome the city folks down south joining us months later on this, but we want everybody to get on board because this is a good thing for California and its security. We were formally on record opposing Senate Bill 54, the sanctuary state law here in Butte County. So why would we put our law enforcement in the crossfire of Jerry Brown and Gavin Newsom's wrong direction and the correct direction that the federal government is trying to do in enforcing our borders? Indeed, that is the province of the federal government. You want to have 50 different states with 50 different ideas on how to have immigration or not enforce immigration, not enforce our borders? So we have these laws that have been on the books for decades that are the province of the federal government. California has indeed crossed the line on many, many issues. Jerry Brown, just the other day, pardoning illegal immigrant felons.
Yep.
What message he's trying to send to you, to all of us as Californians? I guess he's given us the old raspberry, or maybe a worse gesture, because that is not what our values are. And when we get this sort of thing in front of the people, they're going to reject that kind of policy. So with Jerry Brown and Gavin Newsom stepping forward wanting to foster that, now Mr. Cox is going to put a stop to all that because he's running a strong campaign, he's running a serious campaign, and I'm proud to have him. His leadership early on trying to turn back this gas tax that had been foisted upon the taxpayers and working families in this state. He's leading on all sorts of issues here, and this important one here today in light of what Jerry Brown and Gavin Newsom are doing. Look, federal law is crystal clear on this issue. The federal government is the sole power on immigration. Now, we saw just a couple of years ago, Arizona stepped forward because under the Obama administration, very little was being done to enforce our borders. Arizona passed a law trying to take it a little farther, saying, if you won't do it, federal government, Mr. Obama, then we will do it. Well, the courts ruled then that it is the province of the federal government. Arizona couldn't make its own tougher immigration laws. That was frustrating to some, but in the end, proper, because it does belong as a responsibility of the federal government. So now we're stepping forward under the Trump administration, trying to do it right, do it correctly. We have California basically declaring anarchy, stepping outside the law, outside of its boundaries, and trying to do it on its own with a lack of immigration enforcement because I guess they're just trying to subscribe more voters to the Democrat Party. So what we see, Article 1, Clause 4 of the U.S. Constitution specifically grants Congress the power to establish, quote, a uniform rule of naturalization, expressly given this power to Congress. There's never been a successful challenge to federal legislation that refuses admission to classes of non-citizens or removes resident aliens, okay? So we are calling on the rest of California's counties to join with our great North State counties, OC down south, Sheriff in Contra Costa County, make clear we are with America, not with California Democrats' secession policies. Okay? Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Doug. It was great to have you here, and well said, well said. I want to also now, it's my honor to introduce another North State leader who has been championing the cause of safety and security in law enforcement. He co-authored California's landmark Victims Bill of Rights and Marsy's Law. State Senator Jim Nielsen. Thank you, Jim.
John, thank you for making so many trips up here and showing us that you care about being the governor for all of California. You know, and thank you folks for showing up today, showing your commitment to a safe California, free to the bonds of these legislators and governors who want to make this a sanctuary state or sanctuary cities.
No.
You know, those are sanctuary cities and we are a sanctuary state for one class of individuals, felons, who have victimized us and will continue to, giving them a sanctuary. And further, as Sheriff Honig really understands, violating one of the fundamental premises of successful law enforcement. That is cooperation. Isn't it ironic that we have the top law enforcement official in California and the governor of the state of California advocating the violation of federal law? Wow. You know, that ought to terrify us all. And indeed, we the people can end it, as we can end the gas tax. And by the way, a lot of that money is not going to streets, roads, and highways. We were just dealing with it day before yesterday in the Budget Committee, a hearing on the train.
Oh, yeah.
The train. Great idea. But folks, we are at risk. We are in peril. Our government is too powerful, it's taken over, and it's controlling us in this way and ensuring that we remain victims. This is only the most recent. AB 109, Props 36, 47, and 57 all have put us at risk, and many have resulted in the death of our fellow Californians. And you know, you've heard of Cates Law, right? Yeah. Cates Law. Do you realize that that has been on the federal books for over 30 years? Yeah. As chairman of the Board of Prison Terms, I worked with my attorneys to draft legislation that was inserted by then Congressman Lundgren into a federal immigration reform law. I believe it was 86 or 87, or 96 or 97. And it said if you are a formerly deported felon and you illegally re-enter the United States, you'd be subject to federal prosecution and a 15-year term in federal prison. That's on the books for all these years. Now, it was not mandatory, and the U.S. attorneys over the decades have not vigorously at all prosecuted that provision. But that stand was taken long ago. Ladies and gentlemen, we begin our fight here today. Thank you for being here. John Cox, thank you for stepping up to the plate. Thank you.
Let me just say a couple of final words for all of you. Look at this beautiful day. Look at this beautiful community. This state has just incredible natural beauty, but its real strength is its people who just want to live a wonderful, peaceful, and giving life to our neighbors and friends. And that includes the people who have come from other countries and other cultures. Californians are very welcoming to people. We want people to come to America and come to California to stake their lives and to seek their opportunities. I'm a Jack Kemp Republican. I believe in opportunity and growth and a state that really celebrates the opportunities it gives to its people. We can't do that if we don't have public officials who work together to ensure our security. No nation can be prosperous if it's insecure. And that's something Jerry Brown, who has never worked a day in the private sector, and Gavin Newsom don't understand. You know, Gavin Newsom was born on third base and thought he hit a triple.
That's a good one.
He doesn't understand how to get your hands dirty and work for a living. Well, we're going to teach him.
Clean out the barn.
We're going to clean out the barn. Absolutely. Thank you, Congressman. Yes. And if we all work for it, we can have leadership that we're proud of, like our president in Washington.
Yes.
A businessman who's dedicated to seeking solutions. That's what I am. I'm a businessman who's dedicated to seeking solutions. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for my children. I'm doing this for all of your children in a better California. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate all of you taking time out of your busy schedules, and I hope to meet each and every one of you. Thank you to Congressman LaMalfa and Senator Nielsen, and all the other electeds here. Thank you. Enjoy this beautiful day.